watch this. We have something called the Legacy Qualification Guidelines. This is available in the back office, okay, what I'm about to share with you. But here's how it works. When you own your agency, it's the minute you become an executive director and you submit the ownership document to Experior. So once you become an executive director, compliance will provide you with the designation form, which is where you have to list your beneficiary, because if you die, this business goes to your beneficiary, okay? But here's how the legacy works. If you want to retire from Experior, and as long as you signed your AOA with us at least 5 years ago, you can leave and your business will continue to pay you 75% for the next 10 years. Okay? Now, nobody retires from Experior, and I'll tell you why. Why would you? Because you could basically retire from Experior but still be here. How many of y'all know that you could build a hierarchy and not work, and you still get all your overrides? You get 100% of them. Yep. So it doesn't make sense to retire. But we still put this clause in here because what if you want to leave this country, right? What if you want to move to a country in another continent where we don't do business, and you're not going to renew your licenses and your ENOs and all that stuff? Well, you can still do that, and we'll still pay you 75% for 10 years. If you had this option with another IMO, some of you would still be getting paid today, but unfortunately you didn't have that option. Now, if you become disabled or if you die, we will give you an immediate 75% for the next 10 years. So if you die, that's why we need a beneficiary designation. 75% of everything that your business generates for the next decade will go to your spouse, children, whoever you designate. And if it's a minor, we can still designate a minor. You just need a trustee to sign the beneficiary designation because the money would go to the trustee for your children. Now, let's give you an example of how you can become a Silver Legacy ED. Now, this is a Canadian example, but it works the same in the US, okay? The only difference is that FYC number, double that to equal premium, okay? So whatever number you see for FYC, double that, okay? So if you do 15,000 of FYC in Canada or 30,000 of premium in the US or Canada, we just calculate commissions off of something called FYC. So again, ignore that, double that number. If you're running a $30,000 premium agency and your investments are 50,000 personal or annuities, 50,000 from your FAs, SFAs, and SMs. So total annuity volume or investment volume is 150,000 a month. Your income would be around $300,000 a month. Now, keep in mind, this is settled target premium, okay? Settled target premium of 30,000. Now, how would your income look if you died? Well, if you died, you wouldn't be doing any personal anymore. So we have to take out that 14,000 that you were making on your own pen because you're no longer able to write business. So your residual income is 145,000. By the way, I am not counting trail commissions or renewal commissions. I am only counting sales that are being done that month, not the residuals that you continue to get and override for the rest of your life. So on that 140,000, if you die, here's how it works. That's again with personal. In this example is without personal, your overrides. You would receive, or your beneficiary would receive 75% of all the business generated under your code after death for a 10-year period. That'd be 9,000 a month for 10 years. Therefore, if you become an average executive director and you do not promote another executive director, your business should be worth somewhere around $1 million. Ain't that a something? So the next time someone talks to you about, well, what's your spread on this guy and what's your personal level on this product and what's your this on this one, you can say, shut up. What's your net worth on your business? What's the net worth of your business? Because I would argue that most people's net worth on their business after 20 years in business, you're lucky if it's 30 or 40,000 if they were to try and sell their book of business. I'm talking about someone in 6 to 12 months that can go out and build a business that if they die tomorrow would generate $1 million to their family. Now that's just a nice little starting place, okay? But I'm going to show you where you really want to get to. As an executive director, you can now qualify for Gold Legacy. In Gold Legacy, you have to do the following. Have 50 licensed agents in your organization, or promote 3 first-generation executive directors out of your agency. And on top of that, because you have to do some volume, your business, your entire agency and your first-generation executive directors have to do 1.2 million of submitted annual premium over a 24-month period. That averages out to 50,000 a month of premium. You guys just seen the numbers. We have tons of executive directors killing those numbers. As a matter of fact, I didn't even recognize the EDs doing 50,000 through first. I started at 100,000 through first. So we have tons of people doing this already. That's one way to qualify. There's another way to qualify, that if at some point in your career, you have 4 million of in-force premium, meaning all your customers with all your agency people and all of your first generations combined equals 4 million in force. That means customers paying their policies. Then you can also qualify. Or if you're big on the asset side, you can have 40 million of assets under management between your agency and your first generations. We've had a few people qualify with option number 3. We've had no one qualify with option number 2. But the reason no one's qualified with option number 2 is because 99% of people are qualifying with option number 1. Because by the time you're getting a business built up to 4 million, and we've only been in business for a few years, most people are crushing through the 1.2 million mark over a 24-month period. Now, as time goes on, people that might have smaller businesses not doing as much production, they'll eventually start qualifying on number 2 and number 3 more because their business will slowly grow. But the fast track is the I in that example. So that's one way to do it. Now, I'm going to share one more thing that we just do as kind of a gold watch thing. How many of y'all know that if you work for a company for 25 years, sometimes you get a gold watch if you're lucky, right? Well, we don't give you a gold watch. Instead, if you hang out with Experior for 15 years, from the day you get your contract set up with us, not the day you become an executive director, the day you get your contract signed with Experior, your AOA agreement, and as long as you earn $100,000 in 1 year at some point in your business, we're going to automatically bump you up to the gold legacy so long as you're with us for 15 years. Automatic bump up. And what the gold legacy does is, rather than your family or your beneficiary or whomever receiving 75% of all the overrides and residuals for 10 years, they will still get that, but then we tack on 25% after the 10th year infinitely. That means your beneficiary, when you die, then has another supplemental beneficiary designation to sign, because this can go to your children's 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 children. You know what I'm saying? This is a true legacy, guys. Now watch this. If you become disabled, and by the way, you have to be 7 years for the retirement, but look at disability and, oh, I messed up. I did this backwards. I forgot to share the other part. But anyway, 75% guaranteed. As soon as you become gold legacy, you automatically get 75% for 10 years and then 25% every year thereafter. Now, the one thing I said about that immediate qualification, again, is right here, notwithstanding the other gold legacy qualifications. Any agent who qualifies for executive director that has registered the designation form, held contracts with Experior for any 15-year period, and has earned the $100,000 ring shall immediately qualify as a gold legacy ED. Okay? So that's the other way to qualify, is just hang out long enough. I think most people that hang out for 5 years are probably going to get the gold legacy. But if you don't, 15 years later, you got the gold legacy. You already have the silver, but we upgrade it. Now, how does this look? Well, let's look at a typical senior executive director, or someone that's a gold legacy executive director. Let's assume you're not doing any personal business and your agency is doing 60,000 of premium or 30,000 of FYC. You're doing 300,000 of investments, and then your first generations are doing 50,000 of premium, or in other words, 100,000 of premium and 500,000 of investments. Your total annual income would be $432,000. And this is, again, settled, net settled target premium of approximately $160,000 a month in your organization. You would earn $432,000. But if you died, here's how it works for your family. For the first 10 years, your family would receive $27,000 a month. That's $3.2 million over the next 10 years. And then if you look at after 10 years, 25%. By the way, this is paid out every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday when we run payroll. Tuesday and Friday for Canadian overrides, Wednesdays for US overrides. If Raza dies tomorrow, here's some good news for him. His wife just takes over his business 100%. All this is not even on the table. This is irrelevant because his spouse is licensed with him. But on the other hand, let's just say Corey was an executive director and maybe his wife or doesn't have a spouse, or maybe his wife doesn't have a license. This is for her, or this is for his kids, or for whomever he decides to delegate this to. If you have a wife in the business or a child in the business, it automatically goes to them 100%. So there is no sale of a code. This is only in the case that you have a beneficiary who is not a spouse or a child, and then they can still take over your business. Now, 25%, let's look at the next 50 years, what that means to your family. Well, you've left them something to the tune of $7.5 million, the bulk of it in the first 10 years. Show me another IMO that does that. Oh, wait, you can't. Or if they tell you they do that, ask them to show you the contract. Oh, that's right, they can't because they don't have one. Now, if you want to become a platinum legacy owner, you have to have 150 licensed agents in your business, or you must have 12 hierarchy executive directors, 4 of which need to be first generation to you. And you must have achieved one of the following 3 threshold criteria: 6 million of annual insurance premium over a 2-year period. That's an average of 250,000 of submitted premium during any 24-month period, or 8 million of in-force premium, or 80 million of assets under management. We've had a few people qualify with the I and a few people with the 3, with the triple I, whatever that is. One, no one on the 2 yet, but on the 1 and the 3. Here's how it works: 75% paid on death or disability immediately, or if you're here for 10 years, you can retire. But death and disability is immediate. 75% paid to you or your beneficiary for 10 years, and then 50% infinitely. But let's look how that would be in a business. Let's say you're running the same size agency, 60,000 of premium or 30,000 FYC, 300,000 investments. We haven't changed the agency size, but you've got a bunch more people producing in your hierarchy. 90,000 through first, 120,000 on your seconds, 900,000 on first for annuities, 1.2 million on your seconds. There's your total volume. That's 795,000 of cash flow on a business that size. Again, net settled premium. Watch this. We're not including residuals. We're not counting trail commissions. This is just upfront. Look at your business. 75% means your family, if you die, continues to get 49,000 a month. $5.9 million over the next 10 years would be paid out to your family. And then 50% every year after. So over a 20-year, your total payout, over a 30-year, your total payout, and so on. How many people in your family left you? How many of you have great-great-grandparents that left you with $20 million over your lifetime? Well, guess what? It's not because they didn't want to, because I'll bet you every one of them would have loved to. It's because they couldn't, because there wasn't a system built to do it, regardless of what industry they're in.
Hey, Jamie?
Yes.
These numbers, I mean, this is so generous, it's mind-numbing. I mean, if everybody on this call doesn't realize what you've presented, it's shocking. I just have one question. This company is so attractive, and the way we're growing and the quality people and our numbers. What would happen if somebody came by and bought it for an offer you couldn't turn down? Would this continue?
Yeah. So give me a price.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, if somebody came by and said $3 billion or $5 billion.
Yeah, that wouldn't make sense. If they did that, they'd be smoking crack, and I'd question their judgment if they were to do that, because we're not worth anywhere close to that.
We'd sell, Jamie. We'd sell for $3 billion.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, Jamie. We would sell, but does this still come along with it?
So yes, it does, because these are contracts that are in place that would predate any sale. So they would have to honor those contracts that predated a sale. So yes, that would absolutely be the case. However, John, I will tell you this. I had a conversation a couple of years ago when our company was probably worth about 15 million a few years ago. And I joked around and I called one of our wholesaler guys in Canada, one of my buddies at CPP, one of the insurance companies up here. And I said to him, I said, Mike, you wouldn't believe it. I said, we just got an offer for 50 million from WFG. And he goes, oh my God, are you serious? I was joking like WFG was going to buy us. And I said, yeah, man, I'm serious. And he goes, no way. And this was April Fool's Day, actually. And I said, no, I'm messing with you. And then what he says to me, he goes, come on. He goes, that's hilarious. He goes, Jamie, but what would you do if they offered you 50 million? I said, I'd tell him to get out of my life. I said, we're going to build $1 billion company. There's no chance that I would sell this thing. And not just because we're going to build $1 billion company, but because I have people that count on me. And I read a book here called Coach. Coach was a book written by a guy named A.L. Williams that made a very big impact in the insurance industry in the 70s and 80s. At that time, he created more first-time $100,000 earners than any other company in history. And one of his biggest regrets when you read this book was when he sold his company to Primerica Corp, which became a shit show, and the whole company might as well have fallen apart, and it almost did. And now that company is probably deemed to be one of the worst opportunities in the financial services industry, whereas it was once a great opportunity. And one thing my fear is that if I ever sold this thing and it was in the wrong management, wrong leadership, and the heart and soul of the company was no longer in it, it wouldn't be the same company anymore. I could tell you that right now. If this company sold right now, it would not be the same company. So I've committed to our sales force, to our team many times, John, that this thing isn't for sale. And there's no amount of money that excites me. There's really no amount of money that gets me excited because money's not an issue in my life right now. Do I want a couple private jets and a chauffeur to fly me around? Sure, that'd be nice, but not at the expense of the human beings and the lives of people that have entrusted me to build this company with them. So that's kind of where my head's at with that, John.
You are an awesome leader. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you. And by the way, I want to share something else with you that's pretty interesting. The other interesting thing about this is you might be asking, where's the other 25% go? Where's the other 50% go? And some people would just think, well, you're facilitating the sale and the buyout, so Experior probably gets it, right? Wrong. It actually goes automatically to the next upline executive director. Why? Because they now have a little bit more responsibility. Even though they override the hierarchy of the individual that just died, they also have some more responsibilities as well, right? Because now they've got this other team when the leader dies that they're going to have to work with. Now, a lot of them, they're going to have mature leadership in there, multiple executive directors, but all the extra money that's not paid out through the sale of the code is still 100% paid out to the sales force. Experior does not make more profit because one of our people dies. Okay. So just so you guys know that as well. Okay. The last one I want to share with you guys is this. The ultimate destination where most people would love to get is Platinum Plus. And sorry, there's a grammar error. This should say plus in that spot right there. But Platinum Plus Legacy is when your organization has 250 licensed agents, okay, has 5 first-generation executive directors, but a total of 15 in the hierarchy, okay? So one or the other, either 250 or 15 hierarchy executive directors with 5 direct. You also must do 12 million of insurance premium over a 2-year period. That's $500,000 a month of submitted premiums in your first, second, third, and 4th generation. So we count all the way through 4th generation. Or you can do it by having 15 million in force or 150 of assets under management. I'm going to share a cool story with you. So far, as a company, we only have 3 qualifiers for Platinum Plus Legacy. You might go, well, Jamie, that's not that many. We're not that old, and that's a big damn deal. But let me tell you who they are. The first one to ever do it did it a little over 1.5 years ago. I believe it was 1.5 years ago. After less than 6 years with Experior, Moro Arturi qualified for this on option number 1. Fast forward another 8 or 12 months later, less than a year ago now, we had our second qualifier. Actually, I think it was right before the convention last year or this year in February. After only 6 years with Experior, Frank and Yolanda DeLeo qualified with the number one on that.
Jamie, I think that's news to me, brother.
You didn't know that?
No, you announced that I got platinum. I didn't know I got platinum plus.
Did you not look at your numbers? Let me double check. Maybe you did it on AUM, but I checked your
I
numbers.
was
You're
I was
platinum
gonna
plus.
I was gonna say, wow, I didn't even know that.
Okay, it must have been after the convention. Well, anyway, it must have been after the convention.
Woo!
Qualified, bro.
Celebration.
Frank, it's no big deal. It's no big deal, Frank. It's just a minor thing.
Yeah, Franco, I'm sorry, bro. Let me show you something. Hey,
I'm saying
hold on.
3 people. Who's he talking about, man?
This is
Yeah,
exciting.
Pete, I
guys.
was like,
I thought we announced it the last. Don't worry, we got recognition stuff for this now, finally. But watch this. I'm going to show you guys legacy qualifiers. Let me show you right now because I pulled all the numbers last week or the week before.
Party time.
Watch this, guys. I
Wow.
want to show you something. Hold on, I'll show you. Not that one. That's something else I'm working on. Watch this. I'll show you right here. Well, I didn't mean to announce it this way, but here we are. I'm glad you're on. Hold on. Let me just verify. I hope I'm not wrong, man. That would really suck now. Let me see. This is with assets under management. And what's the assets under management have to be through fourth? 150 million, right?
Yeah.
So you didn't make it there. Okay. But Morrow did. Now hold on. Let me go back. Look at that right there, Franco. Through third AUM, that's platinum plus with AUM, platinum plus with premium right here. Platinum pro, there you go, Franco. You crossed over, brother. 13 million. It's 12 million to qualify.
wow.
You got the license.
Congratulations.
So,
Look
yeah,
at
man.
that. What a way to
Awesome,
find
Frank,
out,
awesome.
Frankie. What a way to find out.
I'm such an idiot. Frank,
Oh,
I'm such
wait.
That was awesome.
Wait.
I
Here's
swore
the
you got
lesson.
one in February.
Jamie, it's okay. Here's the lesson, folks. Folks, everybody listen. 223 people on this call. Listen to me. This is why you need to tune in every week to the CEO tab because you might just end up with platinum ownership yourself. So tune in. Who knows who's getting it next week?
Frank, I'm
That's
so
awesome,
sorry,
brother.
brother.
Congratulations,
what?
man.
I must have gotten so screwed up because I saw your numbers already at 13 million. You blew through it by $1 million. So I just assumed that we recognized you at the last convention, but it must have been the platinum that we recognized. Okay. Anyway, long story short,
Yeah, last
Frank
year.
is our newest platinum plus, and I guess you did it in about 6.5 years. So it took you about 6.5 years.
Hey Frank,
That's a nice-
hey Frank, last meeting, I believe, you were mentioning that I'm not sure whether I qualify for Platinum Plus, but I think I'm there. Now you know that you're there.
Okay.
That's it. That's it.
So back to here. So Frank qualified, I guess a few months ago. I thought you did in February, but I guess it was just a few months ago based on what your numbers are at. So Frank just qualified after 6.5 years with Experior. Morrow qualified, I think, in 6 years then, because I guess it was Morrow we announced at the convention last year. Morrow qualified 6 years. And get this, Darren and Stephanie Golka have not yet hit the premium requirement. They're at about 10 million and change. But guess what? They just qualified last month. And again, I didn't even announce it to them yet, but I thought that'd be the excitement too. Well, I mean, I let them know that, hey, I think you got it kind of thing. But we got some big recognition we're going to be doing for this at the convention, by the way. But look at this. When I go to Darren's business, when I pull up the numbers for his, look at this. He didn't qualify on this category because he only has 10.7 million only, right? But if I go to AUM, look at that, 167 million in assets. So officially qualified on that side.
Way to go, Darren.
Let's go, Golka.
Stephanie Golka.
Yes,
Platinum
Golka
plus
family.
legacy.
Team
Yes.
Rios. Thanks, guys.
Congratulations, man.
Everybody on this team. Hey, that was the US guys. Raza, you guys are putting in money business now.
Congratulations.
That's helping.
Let's go. Congrats,
Woo!
guys.
Frankie, congrats, brother. You deserve it, man.
Darren, we should get 30% more for American investment business that goes in. We should get 30% more qualification.
Congratulations.
You already get 30% more overrides because of the dollar. So don't worry about it.
So
That's right.
motivating.
All right, fair enough.
Frank, I
I
want to take
want-
back my comment about you having to sleep on my. Okay, just ignore that comment I sent to you earlier.
Awesome.
Let's get more
Anyway,
people here, Jamie. Let's get hundreds of people owning legacies here, brother.
Absolutely.
This is
Well,
very,
we already-
very exciting,
We
man.
already have over 100 in the company on the silver And then we've got another 40 or 30 or something on the gold. I was running some of y'all are gold and don't even know it, by the way. I know some of you that are not even knowing it. We're going to be recognizing this at the convention, but I do think it's important. I already thought we recognized Frank last year, but I was wrong. But Frank, you got it, brother. And Darren and Stephanie, obviously they just qualified last month. I believe they crossed over the 160. All I know is I checked last week or the week before and they crushed the numbers. So it is what it is, man.
I knew we were getting close, Jamie, but like somebody said in the chat box, like, here's Frank, not even really knowing he's qualified, but just he's building and growing. And that's really cool. That's really cool. Yeah. You bypass it, don't even think about it. But it's a beautiful thing, guys and gals. Like for anybody here, like it just takes the hard work and effort and then teamwork. And so we're just proud of this company, Jamie, and obviously proud of our team. We wouldn't ever get this by ourselves. I mean, it's all team effort, but it's amazing, bro. Thank you so much.
For sure. And by the way, a lot of these guys, when you look at Frank, Morrow, and Darren, they did this with a lot more licensed agents than necessary, but that's also why they did it so fast. You think about that because there's maturity in business. Newer people coming in don't do as much business in the beginning and then it starts to go. I'm telling you right now, when you look at the amount of licensed agents they have, all three of those guys are going to blow through 1.5, 2 million, 3 million in income in the next 24 months. I mean, it's a no-brainer, even if their hierarchy didn't keep growing. I mean, it's just when you look at the amount of production that's coming in per agent across the company, and some people's businesses aren't as mature as others. Guys, when these businesses start to mature, I'm telling you, we haven't even seen how amazing this company is yet, even though it's pretty dope. Watch this. Again, how it works is as long as you hang out with us for 12 years, Morrow, I'll let you retire. Okay, so you got another 5.5 years to go. But if you retire, that would be the stupidest thing you could ever do. So you might as well just hold on to it because this baby's running with or without you. But if you become disabled for whatever reason, you can't do your C credits anymore, whatever the case is, or you die, your family's guaranteed as a Platinum Plus 75% infinitely on the code. This is contractual. This isn't hypothetical pie in the sky going to motivate everyone on Monday afternoon. This is actual contracts between you and Experior the Corp. Now, how does it work? Well, let's say your business is rocking like this. You got 30,000 FYC or 60,000 premium in your agency, 300,000 investment, same size agency. You got 120,000 on first, 200 on second, 200 on third. Your total hierarchy premium settled target premium is 550,000 of FYC or about 1.1 million of premiums. Your investments, which is just a default by doing that kind of insurance business, would be about 5.5 million. We have people doing that aren't even close to that number that I'm sharing with you on the premium side. That's a $1.2 million residual business income without your renewals, without your trail commissions, without personal production and personal client. So watch this. That means that your beneficiary would receive 75% over the next 10 years. And oh yeah, then 75% forever. Nothing changes. Morrow and Frank and Darren have already built a business that will go on to their family or whoever they designate. That's going to pay their family. And I'm telling you, mark my words, way, way, way more than $50 million over the next 10 years. Hey, if you like this video or any of the other videos that I have on my channel, stay tuned. We have so many more coming, but I want to make sure that you're in the know, that you know when they're coming. So please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and make sure you hit the notification bell.